It's 6th July 2025. Good afternoon. Welcome to Weekend Central. This is the first bulletin for the day, and it's coming to you live from the news app here at the Sawikanda. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana and on DSTV channel 279. My name is Josh Queening.
And I am Judith Brown. Coming up this afternoon.
18-year student from Bimbala Senior High School dies after she was hit by bullets in her head during a fire festival procession in Bimbala.
Also this afternoon, Ghana Police Service assures it is fully prepared to deal with emerging security challenges.
And some good news coming in. Kotuku Bridge rehabilitation brings relief to residents and commuters.
Welcome once again to the bulletin. We're going to start right here. Now, an 18-year student of Bimbala Senior High School in the Nanumba North Municipality has died after she was hit by bullets in her head during a fire festival procession in Bimbala. Well, the deceased, identified as Abukar Fatima, was part of a procession going to Wampu to throw away their flaming torch as part of the fire festival celebration. Reports indicate that an unidentified man wielding a locally manufactured single-barrel gun mistakenly pulled the trigger, hitting the girl in the head and killing her instantly. Police were immediately called and the body was conveyed to the Bimbala Hospital morgue. BB cartridge empty shells were found at the scene. Let's cross over now and engage my colleague Christopher Mwako for more on this sad development. Chris, good afternoon. What else do we know about this unfortunate incident?
Yes, so Judith, let me say that prior to the fire festival celebration yesterday, there were several announcements from our chiefs within the Bimbala catchment area warning residents of the use of live ammunition in the celebrations. Unfortunately, some of the youth defied this directive and actually carried their weapons with live ammunition to the procession. Right now, as we speak, the family of the deceased are calling on authorities, especially the Ghana Police Service, to ensure that the perpetrator is identified and arrested. Judith, one other issue has to do with the fact that some of the people who were present when the incident happened, out of fear, are unable to name that particular person, even though information we have gathered indicates that some of them actually know the person who was involved in this particular act leading to the death of Fatima.
Right, and has the girl been buried, and has there been any arrests so far?
Yes, the girl has since been buried around 10:30 a.m. today. And as we speak, no arrest has been made because the person involved is yet to be identified and reported to the police, even though the assemblyman for the Wampu electoral area was part of the procession and has been given a name. We are told that he's yet to report that to the police for them to take action on that matter.
Right, and if you could explain to us, why is the firing of musketry or guns important in the celebration of this festival?
Okay, so there are two schools of thoughts to the celebration of the fire festival itself. First of all, Islamically, we are told that it has to do with the landing of Noah's Ark in the Holy Quran. And so people light the torches made of grass to go and also throw these torches away at the outskirts of the town to signify the safe or successful landing of the ark. The other aspect has to do with the traditional explanation to this. Traditionally, we are told that there was a chief whose son went missing, and so at night, the members of the community lit their torches made of grass to go and look for the missing child. And as it is explained that as a result of that, they have to wield guns, in those days, musketry, so that they will scare whether animals or the perpetrators who had arrested the chief's son. But these days, it has turned into a fanfare where live ammunitions are fired during these processions. And I must say that every year, some fatalities are recorded.
Right, and Chris, prior to this festival, we understand that the chiefs in these areas issued statements cautioning residents about the use of live ammunition. What affected the compliance?
Yeah, so Judith, let me emphatically state that the king of Dagbon, Ndayana Bukari II, issued a statement 3 days ago ahead of the celebration of the Fire Festival, banning the Greater Tamale Metropolis and the Sagnargu municipality from partaking in the Fire Festival due to security reasons. In the Nanumba enclave, that is the Nanung traditional area, they have equally issued such a statement, with the regent of Nanung actually emphatically stating that they are not going to countenance any act of any person who will come there wielding a gun with live ammunition. So unfortunately, some of the youth defied this directive and actually carried live ammunition, and that we saw that one person unfortunately lost her life as a result of that. I have not specifically gotten in touch with the regent because of the preparations of the burial of the young girl, but I'm told by sources close to the regent that he's not taking the matter lightly and is saying that the person must be identified and the law must take its course.
Right, many thanks for your time. Christopher Marco is our Northern Regional correspondent. He's been bringing us all the details as regards to the death of an 18-year-old student of Bimbla Senior High School after she was hit by a stray bullet during a festival.
Well, in more news this afternoon, the National Patrol Department Commander COP Mohammed Suraji says the evolving nature of security threat in Ghana, marked by rising cyber crime, violent offenses, communal conflict, and societal changes, places increasing demand on personnel of the Ghana Police Service. Addressing a passing out ceremony in Koforidua, he stated that the police service is fully prepared to provide the security needed to address these emerging crime trends. Take a listen.
The police administration are taking cognizance of the government's avowed aim of implementing the flagship 24-hour economy. For such a monumental policy to be implemented successfully, the Ghana Police Service has a cardinal role to play. The police would be expected to provide the needed security to ensure that citizenry, as well as workers, they are well protected at all times to be able to go about their legitimate economic and social pursuits without any hindrance. In line with its proactive measures, the police administration has established a new unit at the police headquarters, known as the 24-Hour Economy Security Secretariat, to oversee the security coordination of the implementation of the 24-hour economy. The changing face of security in Ghana, which is characterized by emerging complex and cyber-related crimes, violent crimes, communal conflicts, and changes in modus operandi of criminals, among others, continues to place a huge demand on the personnel of the Ghana Police Service to deliver services that are more diverse, complex, skilled, and specialized to deal with these menace. The current trends in crime have positioned personnel of the service to live up to the legitimate demands of the public for peace, tranquility, order, safety, whilst addressing security needs of this time.
Now, Deputy Director General of Enforcement Control and Elimination at the Narcotics Control Commission, NARCOC, lawyer Alexander Chumberma, says his outfit will continue to wage war against the trade in illicit drugs, while the Narcotics Control Commission, in a significant drug interception operation, seized 738 compressed parcels of a substance suspected to be cannabis at the Swiss Port Terminal in Accra.
It is an intel-led operation that took place yesterday around the same time. We had kept the parties under surveillance for some time, and it was yesterday that they brought the action to bear, and they were able to dispatch these items in boxes alongside some food items, plantain, some dried leaves that is being used in cooking, among other things, to the Kotuku International Airport, specifically, the Aviance section, which is the cargo section, to be exported to the United Kingdom. And they were arrested. So the driver is currently in our custody alongside 2 other persons. We've done further arrests today to some people, and some 2 key persons are alleged, and we've declared them wanted. So the driver, for instance, was the one who delivered the things to the airport from the very house that the things were concealed. And then the 2 other persons were agents who were standing by to get the things being shipped, or freight forwarders, as we call them here. As we always make it clear, we haven't relented on our efforts to clamp down on every Dominican who's involved in this illicit activities. So this is to continuously send the signal to them that we are not asleep and we will not rest until they stop whatever they are doing. We know that there are recalcitrant ones among them, and no matter what we do, they will continue to do their own things. But we are also very wide awake in that any modus operandi that they take, we will go after them. This one, for instance, some of them was placed inside this local soap that we call Alatasamana or something. They had concealed some of them in it, wrapped it with this soap, in that it will outweigh, or they will be able to outsmart the system, as well as the officers who will be scanning or physically examining these things. But in all this, we were able to apprehend them.
Well, in just a few months, the deplorable Kotuku Bridge has undergone a transformation from a hazardous structure to a fully repaired and safe passage. Residents and commuters can now cross with confidence, free from the dangers that once plagued this vital link. Ibrahim Abubakar examines how the bridge's rehabilitation is impacting the communities that depend on it.
3 months ago, crossing this bridge meant dodging gaping holes and rusted supports. Now, smooth concrete underfoot, reinforced railings, and traffic flowing safely for the first time in years. Despite serving 16 cocoa-growing communities in the Achumamponia district of Ashanti region, the Kotuku Bridge was left to decay for years. In March this year, the Roads and Highways Minister ordered the immediate closure of the bridge after a shocking inspection revealed its dire condition.
We are handing over the site to the contractor to start work today. I believe that the caliber of the contractor we are talking about, they should be able to do this within the shortest possible time so that we can bring relief to the people.
But after months of urgent repairs, this critical link has been transformed into a safe and reliable passage.
The NDC government, they told us that when we vote for them, they will come and do our they will come and restore our bridge for us. And we have seen that they have done well. They have fulfilled their promise.
We are happy so much because we have about 15 communities from here going. The government have done well.
For now, residents are counting to July 8th, the day the bridge will reopen to traffic. The impact: huge relief for locals who depend on this route for trade, school, and healthcare. For residents of Kotuku and other beneficial communities, this is a promise delivered. They are hopeful the completion of the bridge will not only ease movement, but improve lives and livelihoods. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kotuku, Ashanti region.
Now, motorists and traders who ply the Eche Amanfrom to Donkokrom Road face a daily ordeal battling not only deplorable road conditions, but also the persistent threat of armed robbery. Well, this situation is having a devastating impact on the agricultural potential of the Kwewu Afram Plains area, a region known for its fertile land and food production.
It takes an enormous amount of courage and resilience to travel from Echiamangfrom to Tiase and Donkokrom after crossing the Aframpless River from Adolso to Echiamangfrom on a ferry. Travelers must navigate deep potholes, bumpy terrain, and long dusty stretches. But beyond the poor roads lies an even greater danger: armed robbers. Whether day or night, the fear of being attacked is constant. Many have fallen victim on this stretch. Their stories a painful reminder of the insecurity haunting this corridor.
We get robbed on this road on daily basis. All your savings for business can be taken away from you in a twinkle of an eye.
Personnel from the Ghana Police Service are stretching resources to provide security. Despite limited resources, they have increased patrols on the road, often stretching their capacity to its limits. Their presence brings some relief to commuters, but in its current form, this security arrangement is not sustainable.
Asking the traders how they feel about this intervention from the police service.
I'm happy that the policemen now guide us from Donkokrom to Chiamangfrom. It has made traveling a bit easy. But their vehicles occasionally break down. We hope that the government will help them.
To be frank,
Using this route as a driver is not pleasant. We have to fix our vehicles every time it breaks down. My waist even hurts as I speak to you.
Roads and Highways Minister Kwame Agboja promised the road networks of 100 kilometers and 3.6 kilometer bridge over the Afam River would be fixed. When work would begin is what residents don't know.
We are begging them to fix it. If they can't fix the bridge on the river now, they can fix the road so that the vehicles are able to move faster. With that, the armed robbers can't always have their way.
President John Mahama, in his recent statement, said efforts are being made to resource the security services.
Police have to confront armed robbers every day, and you don't expect them to do it in light-skinned vehicles. The armed robbers are well armed with AK-47s, they fire back at them, and so getting them armored-plated vehicles for their patrol, highway patrols and things is also something that we'll look at.
Sustainable Development Goals 9.1 enjoins government to focus on developing and upgrading infrastructure, including roads, to support economic development and human well-being.
Union, you're watching Weekend Central here on TV3, the first bulletin of the day, coming to you live from the news app here at the Forcanqua. More news this afternoon. The Chief Inspector of Mines at the Minerals Commission has directed Health Goodfields to cease operations at the Bogoso Pristia mines pursuant to Regulation 2.2 of the Minerals and Mining Health Safety and Technical Regulations 22, that's LI 2182. This was contained in an order issued on June 24, 2025, following a robust and thorough review of the company's operational protocols, regulatory compliance, and general administrative procedures, among other factors. In a statement issued by the Director of Communications at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Ama Mausi Mawenye Fiega, the ministry explained that the company has been granted 45 days from the day of the directive to rectify all breaches and carry out essential services as outlined by the Chief Inspector of Mines at the Minerals Commission. According to the ministry, Health Goodfields had failed to comply with necessary arrangement, leading to an order to halt mining activities.
In other news this afternoon, the Africania mission of Ghana has expressed disappointment in government for excluding them from the events of the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving service. The group, which is a new traditional religious movement, believes the omission of Ghanaian traditionalists from the event is discriminatory and goes to legitimize the existence of only 2 religious groups in Ghana. They are calling on President Mahama to include all religious bodies in subsequent events.
While members of the Christian and Islamic communities were gathered across the country on Tuesday to mark the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, thousands of members of the Africania Mission also gathered in Kleko in the Ketu South municipality to do same. They poured libation to the gods and ancestors of the land and sought divine protection and peace from God Almighty for the country. Speaking at the event, a senior priest with the Africania Mission, Osofo Kofi Atabuachi, expressed the group's displeasure about the exclusion of traditionalists from the event of the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving by government.
The Africania Mission has been organizing National Libation Day since time immemorial, or for some time now. And we do organize it almost every year. Last year we were at Adan. But our message to His Excellency John Mahama is that he shouldn't have excluded Africania Mission. Africania Mission, we are the Africans. All the churches and the mosques are built on our land. We are the landowners. So he shouldn't neglect us. He should not think the best way to go is to call only Muslim and Christian as if it is only Muslim and Christian that exist in Ghana.
The Africania Mission is a new traditional religious movement representing believers of African spirituality, culture, tradition, faith, and worship. Paramount Chief of the Aflao traditional area, Togbi Fiti Amenya V, who participated in the event, urged local authorities and government not to lose sight of the relevance of African values and traditions, which he says form part of the foundations of the country.
Sankofa, Vubonachoi, resetting. The resetting is to evoke the ancestral spirit that we have forgotten. Let's get to the past. Know what our forefathers did in the past. The good and the bad. Let us identify the good. Bring it forth for the next generation to learn.
The group is further appealing to government to give traditionalists in the country a deserving recognition in all of its activities and actions to preserve the country's rich heritage and culture.
You're still watching Weekend Central right here on TV3. I've been doing this with
George Queenan, and we're going for a quick commercial break. We're back with more news. Stay with us.
He knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful Endpoint one?
Chesena me ankasa me period na se problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me kwan point no mo hwe me mogya mu no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra me enu hofro kwa na mkwan mu a eba
and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko Endpoint o mama no nura ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's Endpoint for you. Of Acrobato. Hello. Hey, ohwehwe what che. Okay. A free bra wo di Endpoint wa dance am me call you no me Joseph Semana nkoyie e paso na my emre nyina na magina sebema na me no be fie for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. Endpoint is my secret. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free. They me pay so they be jame. Sister me dad they be chibia na me emshishimi. Akuna ida. Me many te o some me sakana me say. Me ida so te. Sika sit there so the moon. Juju so mo. Bag the ho dia. Me na be free.
So what you say bag na ma. Won na me show.
Wow. Say me nya kwamfo bi e na na mo sole o.
Hey!
This is Hot Issues, your passport to the most compelling conversations of our time.
We go one-on-one with the movers and shakers, the thought leaders, and the game changers. We ask the questions that matter, and we don't back down.
Tonight on Hot Issues, I sit with the man at the Center of Corruption Investigations.
Join me on Hot Issues here on TV3.
Hot Issues shows Sundays at 2 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Every morning I wake up with purpose. They say experience comes with age. I say it comes with daring to start again and again. I have led teams. I've built dreams. I've learned that leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about knowing how to grow. I lift as I climb, because true success is not about you. It's about what you pass on to others. So here's my advice. Be bold. Be brilliant. Build the life you deserve. Because today's woman, hey, she's unstoppable.
The all-new Today's Woman with Audrey Salome shows every Sunday at 3 p.m. only on TV3.
Brought to you by Gino Pomo Tomato Mix.
Welcome back. You're still watching Weekend Central. Now, members of the Heavenweight Champion International Ministry began their Sunday service on a sober note, July 6. That's today, as a wave of mourning swept through the auditorium just moments before worship was set to begin. The founder of the Heavenweight Champion International Ministry, Patricia Asiedua, also known as Nana Grada, was on Thursday, July 3, sentenced to 15 years imprisonment after being found guilty of defrauding by false pretense and engaging in charlatanic advertisement. Well, my colleague Joseph Armstrong Alobe is at her church and joins me with more on this. Joseph, paint a picture of what really is happening at the church premises today.
Judith, so behind me right now, you could see some of the church members are coming out from the auditorium. Church service just ended, but before church started today, you could see some people wailing, crying because of the sentencing of their leader, Mama Pat, and later on when the angel Asemwa came into the picture, he managed to speak to the congregation, telling them that what has happened is the will of God, so that today, Mama Pat, even though she's at the prison, she's the one going to lead church services at the prison where she is currently. So the church members should cheer up. But he himself, that is the angel Asamia himself, shed tears before the service began here. So right now, church service has closed. We are trying to get some interviews with the leader. We've seen the brother of Mama Pat here himself, trying to get some interviews from them, but the media guys here, the media team here will not let us get anywhere close to the angel Asemia and also that of the Mama Pat's brother to find out what exactly is happening. So far, we've seen that the chapel today too was not fully occupied, just half was full. Usually when you come to this place on a regular Sunday, you see a whole house full of church members, but today the numbers have gone down with only half membership showing up today here, Judith.
I'm eager to hear, Armstrong, really what the preaching today at the church premises was about, because we even saw on social media that they had over 2,500 viewers on Facebook alone. And so it seems their viewership have gone high just for today. What was the preaching about?
So definitely there was information that the church chapel was closed and that people were expecting that there wouldn't be service today. So people were just interested to see what would transpire here at the church. When we got here, the place was already opened, and also the brother, we are told, so they are hooting at me now. I don't know what exactly they are hooting at. They don't want the media to get anywhere close, but people are interested. They want to know how the church service was going to be today, and also the sermon that was going to come from the now leader of the church, that is Angel Asemia. He spoke about what the scripture stands for, and that every Christian once in a while needs to go through some kind of problems, and what Mama Part is going is not anything new. He cited examples like people like Joseph, people like David, people who were once great men of God have all been through some tribulation. So what has happened to their own Mama Part is not anything new, and that after some years she's going to come out from the prison and will join them. And he also did emphasize that the church will never go down. They will hold the church together and make sure that they even get more members to join. And for the members, he encouraged them to be very strong, as their leader is going to continue with her services at the prison where she is now. And she said that today she can confirm that she is the one leading the prison or the inmates at where she is currently, Judith.
Right, many thanks for your time. I'm sure Godalobe is a man on the ground. He is at the Heavenway Champion Church, bringing us to speed with all the details that's happening right there in the church, as their main pastor, Nana Agrada, as she's popularly known, has been sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Yeah, in one news said this afternoon, President John Mahama during the week launched the 24-hour economy initiative, describing it as more than just policy, calling it a national economic shift. Experts and commentators say that value addition across sectors will be key to boosting exports and reducing reliance on imported goods. There's more in this report.
President John Mahama, at the launch of the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program on July 2, noted that the initiative is more than a mere policy.
The 24H Plus agenda is not simply about extending working hours. It is about unleashing productivity, expanding opportunity, accelerating exports through well-structured, multi-sectoral and inclusive interventions. We're not attempting to fix everything everywhere all at once. The private sector will lead the 24-hour plus program. Government will facilitate and not dominate.
CEO of the National Petroleum Authority (NPA), lawyer Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, said stakeholders were consulted on the 24-hour economy initiative. He added that the policy will be a game changer in Ghana's economic drive.
With this integration, what President Mohammed's focus is not only to create jobs, but to also expand the economy. An expansive economy is what will create the needed demand. What he did was to reach out to as many people as he can, from the Association of Ghana Industries, experts, CSOs, among other people, captains of industry, to appreciate from their end how this policy, if rolled out, will get their buy-in.
A political scientist at the University of Ghana, Dr. Joshua Zato, was of the view that incentives alone are not sufficient to operate a 24-hour economy.
You are going to incentivize a company and give the company money. And then when the company gets the money, then the company says, okay, because of these incentives, I'm going to run another shift. So the argument then seems to be that the reason why companies and businesses are not doing 3 or 4 shifts in employment is because they don't have incentives. That is that argument becomes wrong. The reason why businesses are running 24-hour economy is not because they don't have incentives. I have no problem with incentives to business. It's good. Import duties is a good. Import duties has always been a burden on businesses. And I'm saying that if you're a small business or medium business, how do you stand to benefit? So it's the demand that makes you do. It's not incentives that are making you to go and open another shift or a third shift.
Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana, Godfred Bokpin, speaking on the key points, noted that there's an attempt to move Ghana's economy to value addition through the 24-hour economy policy.
There's an attempt to strengthen the employment response to growth, because we have seen positive growth in the last couple of decades, but largely have been jobless growth. That is what we have celebrated. So I see that over the 4-year period or so, they are looking at creating about 1.7 million jobs.
He, however, advised against establishing a special organization with the status of an authority to implement the 24-hour economy policy.
Couldn't we have implemented a lot of almost all those things using the existing channels? We have the local government, we have a decentralized government system and all of that, budgetary allocations, there are civil servants who are recruited, professionals trained and all of that. They implement all of this. Why do we want to create an authority? Since 1992, if you check the cost drive, you realize that the administrative cost of implementing policies and all have expanded hugely. But what is the cost? What is the value from all of that? How do we implement this with a low-cost approach and all of that? And that's what I'm saying, that if you create an authority, you create a secretariat and all of that. In fact, what it means is that this is going to be like a standalone. We are not infusing it within the system and build ownership.
Meanwhile, a political risk analyst, Dr. Theo Champon, emphasized the potential of the policy to create jobs for more Ghanaians whilst contributing to overall national development.
It clearly shows that a lot of work and thinking has gone into it, and it clearly also attempts to articulate a number of the structural challenges that has faced the Ghanaian economy way back from the Kwame Nkrumah days till now. And also an attempt not only to grow the economy per se, but importantly, there are three other dimensions that is reflected in this document.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu wants government to accept criticism in the implementation of the 24-hour program. He asked the 24-hour Economy Secretariat to provide periodic updates on the progress of work.
If the program is good and the people can see it is good, then public opinion will weigh on the new government. Even apart from its own conviction that it should continue, public opinion will compel the government to continue. Over the years, we are becoming more refined. And then more conscious, more citizens are plugging in, more citizens are holding government to account. So hopefully the excesses would come down.
The 24-hour economy policy was one of the major flagship campaign promises of the then NDC candidate during the 2024 electioneering campaign. The program seeks to extend economic activity beyond conventional hours and integrate key sectors into a seamless value chain.
The subject because the 24-hour Economy Secretariat has begun a nationwide engagement drive aimed at sensitizing Ghanaian youth about the opportunities and prospects of the 24-hour economy policy. Well, during an interaction with a group of Gadambe youth in Accra, the head of Innovation Partnership and Finance at the Secretariat, Dr. Ishmael Ni Amano Dodu, encouraged them to take ownership of the initiative and contribute to its development.
The 24-hour economy policy, born out of a political campaign promise, has officially kicked off with bold projections to generate employment. To build public understanding and drive interest, the 24-hour economy secretariat has begun a nationwide sensitization campaign starting in Accra to engage mainly the youth on the policy's prospects and practical benefits. At a session with a group of Gadangbe youth, head of Innovation, Partnership and Finance at the Secretariat, Dr. Ishmael Ni Amano Dodu, encouraged participants to take ownership of the initiative and actively contribute to its success.
We are working very closely with the private sector to drive the capital from private sector to create the jobs that are needed through cooperatives of small, medium enterprises. So if the youth could form cooperatives in the agriculture sector, youth could form cooperatives in the building sector, youth could form cooperatives in the garment and pharmaceutical sectors and so on, then this is how we are actually going to develop the country. There's a lot of programs that we put together to move around the whole nation, to talk to Ghanaians and to explain the vision to them and to really request them to mobilize around this whole vision and goal. We have something we call the Goal 24, which is about mobilizing the whole nation towards such a powerful vision that we do have.
Dr. Diodu further disclosed that the Secretariat is working closely with the private sector to mobilize funding through an SME-focused financing model.
It's about inculcating the skills, the talents, the work ethics, transformative behaviors of the youth to be able to capitalize on this modern type of economy that we are trying to build. which would bring the economy back into the hands of Ghanaians. And it's called Aspire 24, where we are going to mainstream digital studies through vocational schools. And I think this is a game changer.
The sensitization drive marks a critical first step in laying the groundwork for the full rollout of the 24-hour economy. With youth engagement at its core, the initiative aims to ignite innovation, create jobs, and transform Ghana's economic landscape, one shift at a time. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, we brought you the story earlier where an 18-year student of Bimbala Senior High School in the Nanumba North municipality has died after she was hit by a bullet in her head during a fire festival procession in Bimbala. The deceased, identified as Abubakar Fatimata, was part of a procession going to Wampu to throw away their flaming torch as part of the fire festival celebration. Well, now let's go on to the telephone lines and engage Dr. Adam Bona, who is the Acting Executive Secretary of the Ghana National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Doc, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Your outfit issued a statement ahead of the celebration advising against the display and misuse of firearms. Did your outfit really monitor the event?
Yes, good afternoon, George. Yes, we monitored the event, and we've been monitoring all other events just like this, and we've been sensitizing our traditional authorities and communities with regards to the proper use of firearms and to
if you can hear me, the student was hit by a stray bullet at Bimbala and died. Going forward, how do we ensure this incident does not occur? It seems we are getting in touch with Dr. Adam Bona. He's the acting director of the Commission on Small Arms and Firearms, talking about the fact that an 18-year-old student of Bimbala Senior High School in the northern region has died following bullets that were shot in her head during a fire festival procession in Bimbala. He is identified as Abubakar Fatimata, was part of a procession going to Wampu to throw away their flaming torch as part of the fire festival celebration. And we're actually engaging Dr. Adam Bona, who is the Acting Executive Secretary of the Ghana National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Of course, the outfit issued a statement ahead of the festival, advising against the display and misuse of firearms, and asked whether the outfit was actually monitoring the event, and he said yes, they were actually monitoring every aspect of the event. That's where we lost him, but we'll surely connect with him and you'll finish with updates on this very matter. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Weekend Central here on TV3. This is our first bulletin for the day, and we're live on Facebook. Also get interactive with us. I hear Dr. Adam Bona is back. Doc, the student was hit by a stray bullet. Okay, let's really finish with the first question where I said whether your outfit really monitored the event against the advice you gave out.
Well, the truth is that we have done what we can do, but unfortunately, as an agency that is supposed to be monitoring and helping other agencies to combat this, what I can say with certainty is that the laws governing the regulation of firearms and the way they are used is so old, so much so that we can only, if you ask the police, they will tell you there is no law that forbids people from using live ammo at festivals. And so at the moment, what we are doing is to refine the existing law. We have a bill that is at the ministerial level pending to go through the process and be, promulgated into law. Where festivals like this, if you are caught using a live ammo, you would be punished, because then it looks like most of our festivals and celebrants have resorted to the use of live ammo instead of using non-lethal ammunition. And to the extent that some are using military-graded, weapons, M16s. We've seen them in the full glare of the public. Unfortunately, nothing was done in the last administration. This administration, if you ask me, I will tell you that we are on the verge of getting, strengthened guns, firearm, laws in this country. And once that is done, it becomes, a tool for us to be able to ensure that those who are bringing them don't sell them to celebrants. You can only sell them to those who want to use them for hunting and those who want to use them for other purposes apart from celebrations. It happened in Accra at the Bobu Ulomos celebration where a woman was shot with live ammo. And so we seem to be racing, behind those who are doing this. But hopefully, when this law is passed, hopefully in the next month or two, we should be able to curb this. But at the moment, we can only attempt to sensitize celebrants and, during occasions like this. You saw our message to, those who were going to be involved in the fire festival. Unfortunately, they didn't listen and they used live ammo, and this young, senior high student has lost their life. Condolences to the family. I would want to say that we need the support of the general public in sensitizing the, celebrants and those involved in this, in fighting this canker. Apart from, getting the law strengthened, we still have to go on with a lot of sensitization.
Doc, you've actually answered my follow-up question. Of course, festivals are a way of life of people, but do you think it's very advisable for firearms to be used at a festival like this?
No, we can't. What do you call marketries in the past are what is used with gunpowder, charged gunpowder. Even with that, you know what your colleague, as if Kofi TV or so, what gunpowder did to his eyes. And so mine is that you can't stop it. Our generation can't stop the use of marketries and firearms in festivals. What we can do is regulate and make sure that non-lethal ammunition or ammo is used. And so once there is a backing law, then it is going to be easy to ensure that non-lethal ammunitions are used. But stopping guns and marketries during festivals is something that no administration can stop. It's going to be pretty difficult. And so regulation is the best way to go, if you ask me, from the Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission point of view.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adam Bona. Thank you so much for always engaging us with your expertise on topical issues. And here's the Acting Executive Secretary of the Ghana National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. An 18-year-old student of the Bimbla Senior High School has been shot in the head following a fire festival procession in Bimbla. But that's how we go for our very second break. Stay with us. We'll be back with more news. Good afternoon.
Welcome back. In more news, 3 students from the Laura Senior High School who survived a near-drowning incident at the Dipet River are struggling to cope with the traumatic experience. According to the survivors, the incident has made it difficult for them to focus on their studies. Ibrahim Wangara has more in this report.
It's been days since the heartbreaking tragedy unfolded on Saturday, June 14, when 7 students from Laura Senior High School lost their lives in the Dipet River. The canoe they were traveling in capsized midway, turning a simple morning jog into a nightmare. Among the group were these students who survived the harrowing ordeal of near drowning. But they now carry a heavy burden which hinders their ability to focus.
I'm not feeling better because I lose some of my colleagues. I'm in the same class with Lois. During my studies, I normally study with Ice is not there. If I'm studying, I'm not always comfortable. And during that, I can't sleep in the night. If I'm to sleep, I'm always thinking of how there's something sick inside the water and how I struggled before I came out.
2 weeks after the incident happened, if I pick a book I can learn, I'm always thinking about what happened in the river. The way we struggled before going out, it's only God that helped me.
The Ghana Maritime Authority presented 30 life-saving jackets to 5 communities along the river and sensitized canoe operators on safety. It was a sad encounter among students as the presidency and the Minister of Transport, through the Upper West Regional Minister, commiserated with the families of the victims.
I'm here on behalf of the President and the Minister for Transportation to make a donation to our parents who are here and also to Laura Secondary School. We have 10 bags of rice and a token of 5,000 Ghana cedis to the school.
Amid these gestures of support, concerns linger.
All the parents, we have all come to terms that no amount of words, no amount of grieving can bring them back. We as parents, we were expecting that at least either the police commander or the headmaster of the school or whoever that was their leader should have sat with parents and have a dialogue with us so that we know exactly what transpired. I think that would have been part of the consolation for us. It is just the general public, when we come to meet them, then they make general statements, and that is all.
Now, Nigeria's 2 main opposition leaders have joined a new political party to challenge President Bola Tinubu and his ruling party in the next election. Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi have chosen the African Democratic Congress, ADC, as their new political home after breaking away from their respective parties, that's the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the Labour Party, LP. This is one of the biggest shake-ups in Nigerian politics since the end of military rule in 1999. The announcement is the culmination of a series of talks between the leaders to put up a unified front in the 2027 election rather than splitting their vote. Some political heavyweights from Tinubu's All Progressive Congress Party have also thrown their weight behind the formation. Tinubu won the 2023 election with just 37% of the vote after opposition supporters were divided between Abubakar, who got 29%, and Obi with 25%. Obi had broken away from the PDP after the party chose Abubakar as its presidential candidate.
And before we go, let's do some sports. Ghanaian midfielder Forcanqua endured a topsy-turvy first season in England with Norwich City. Well, after a bright start to life in England, the midfielder's season was hampered by injuries. The roller coaster campaign ended with the Ghanaian taking home Norwich's goal of the season. Orekwan Pofu caught up with him and put together this report.
Forcanqua arrived at Norwich City in the summer of 2024, joining from Red Bull Salzburg for a reported €4.5 million. The Ghanaian midfielder was seen as one of the most exciting young prospects in Europe and he wasted no time making an impression at Carroll Road. In his first 5 games, Amankwa registered 2 assists, quickly becoming a creative spark in the midfield and raising hopes among fans for a breakthrough season. Despite his bright start, Amankwa's momentum was soon disrupted by injuries. He suffered a shoulder injury early in the campaign, which, although not requiring surgery, sidelined him temporarily and interrupted his rhythm. Later in the season, a knee injury during an FA Cup match further limited his playing time and consistency.
To settle in was like a bit hard because honestly I even didn't send shoes because it was so quick. But yeah, I got it the next day, so it was really like a little bit stressed because it was too quick. Yeah, but it was okay to start really early and then just start straight away to get into it because that's what I'm used for. It's tough though, really physical and then like more intensive like how I used to. Like, okay, in Austria was also intensive, but the physicality is different. So, yeah, it's the first year, so I get used to it. When I came in to score the goals, it was like a great feeling because I had injury and then wasn't playing a lot of games. So, just to come in to win the game for the club was like the best moment being there.
These setbacks coincided with Norwich's own struggles in the championship as the team's inconsistent performances saw them slip out of playoff contention and finish 14th in the table. Despite the challenges, Amankwa produced one of the campaign's most memorable moments. In January, he came off the bench to score a dramatic stoppage time brace against Coventry City, turning a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 victory for Norwich. His first goal, which was a thunderous volley from outside the box, was later voted Norwich City's goal of the season by fans.
Because I thought it was really just coming to the end of the game, so maybe I'll come in, maybe not. But we was also losing, so immediately the coach called me. I was like, okay, maybe this is the time. Let's leave it maybe some few minutes, the game is off, so whatever you can do to help the team, you just do it. It's just some few minutes, then the game is already done. So you can't get tired, you can't do anything, so just give everything. If we win, it's for the team, and then if we lose, yeah, of course, the fans will come against us, not only me, everybody. So I just got it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just do what I can do to help the team. That just happened.
Reflecting on his debut campaign, Amankwa has expressed determination to come back stronger. He remains committed to helping Norwich achieve their goal of returning to the Premier League and is eager to build on the lessons learned from a challenging first year in English football.
I think I'll be part of the team for next season, so I need to bring myself up, whatever it is, especially like injury. Need to just get some preventions and then just to train some things which will not bring me to get injured. But the whole team, I think they change a lot, so probably they'll fix things. The first thing from the club is to get promoted, and then you're the player also. If you are part of the club, of the team, like I mean, the squad that promoted, it's also something for you personally. So I'm prepared for that, and then I hope we get the best of it.
With a full preseason and improved fitness, both the player and the club are hopeful for a more consistent and impactful second season.
Well, this paints a nice picture of our players who are doing well in England.
Yes, and we certainly wish him all the best. That's how we end the bulletin. My name is Judith Brown. Be doing this with...
My name is Josh Quinn. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. And Hot Issues at 2 p.m.
Yes,
today. So
so make sure you make a date with us on TV3. Bye-bye.
Awesome, yeah.